Welcome to Use's introduction to the user interface for Imperator Rome. Going to start out today, actually not with the game immediately, but with the settings. A couple of them I think are useful to be looking at before you even start with the game. Not graphics so much, that's going to be something personal. This is something that I recommend looking at when you're in game as to how it is. You can get a little bit of effect here, but during the recording, leaving it 100%. You can note also if you go down, he's red, meaning he's getting too large for the screen. So mainly I want to look at uh, game and in particular the tooltip mode. For these demonstrations, I'm preferring the time block because I've got a reminder that they're going to stay here with me. The action lock works less well for me because it's difficult for me to get to the middle mouse button. And with the mouse tendency, I seem to always be chasing myself, forgetting that, oh yes, I just need to stay still a little bit longer. So for the best stability, I actually like the timed lock. You can set up how long that takes, whether you have to wait 1 second to up to 5 seconds before it goes into a lock. But we'll see that, as you see, with that gray bar to the right of the tooltip that scrolls up and then it stays. If you move away before that, then the tooltip disappears. Okay, in the settings. So then to the other key elements of the user interface. Start a new game and wait for the world history to generate. And we don't have a saved game, it's just the starting situation. And we have our world 304 BCE, or as the tooltip tells us, that's basically 304 BC as we know it in our Gregorian calendars. Um, so what I want to show here in particular are the three government types. We have, I like to call them barbarians, but calling them tribes. Uh, the key issue around tribes is centralization. We have republics. The key element here is popularity in a sentence. And we have monarchies, and the key element here in this government type is legitimacy. Um, one of those three elements will show up in the user interface when we start. By the way, just a note, you can just click on observe and the game will take off and do its thing. I haven't done this yet, but that's what I've seen in a couple other demos. Um, a number of pre-selected countries, most of them are gray because I don't have any DLCs loaded, but we have an easy, a normal difficulty, and a hard. So just choose Rome as nice and easy, also because that's what the in-game tutorials are based upon. And all I'm interested in here is lots of information to be looking at, particular populations. Um, there are no armies anymore and that sort of things, but just pressing start. Um, Pop-up dialogue with some interesting text. Worry about that another time. If you were just going to be playing the game right away, you would be focusing on these elements here because these are things that you need to be getting done basically before you start the game up. Instead, we're going to look at the user interface. So F1 is the nation overview. Here we can see our national ideas that we fill in, and once we fill them in according to the suggestions, we get some additional bonuses. With administration, we have basically our governors, 2 governors as we start out, and 5 provinces. Again, governors, 3 provinces, 2 provinces. Okay. Next element, the government. Okay, here we see our Senate And here we see our popularity or support in the Senate. Here we have our offices. This is important for keeping our families happy, making sure that the officers are well divided over all the different families. Otherwise, you create unrest, and that creates civil war. And we have laws that we can choose as we move farther into the game. So some laws are selectable from the beginning, others are not. We have to get some things done. Uh, talk more about laws later on. Economy, very simple interface, lower taxes. What does it look like? Okay, now my balance is terrible. Uh, I can increase taxes, get a little bit more. Uh, yeah, 401, 418. I think this is not going to be very useful at this point in time. A way of looking at things. It's the user interface. Religion. Um, importance of religion is again, what bonuses do I get? Starting out with a deity of war, economy, culture, fertility. Um, war, okay, obviously morale of armies, army discipline, if I choose to make that my omen or the second bonus coming out of different things. Um, I can choose to change a deity by clicking here because I think, well, maybe there are some other bonuses that are better for me. Again, the same thing can be done for the other deities. Holy sites, the key here is if I have a holy site and I have something in it, then I might be getting some additional details. So here we see here, and we have this within our site, and it has two elements in it. That was the tooltip getting in the way there. So if I click on it, I can remove, so right click to remove the treasure. But right now I have these wonderful stones, and that's giving me an extra population capacity. And further, the population assimilation speed is a little bit faster. So this is the importance for looking at sites. Do I have some extra bonuses? Culture. Okay, cultures are important. There is a dominant culture and there are subordinate cultures. Uh, Subordinate cultures tend to create unrest. Unrest creates issues. So decisions that you make over time can affect how well um, cultures that are not integrated get integrated or don't get integrated, get absorbed. But this is the screen that you go in and cover issues like that. Trade, again, this is one of these simpler charts. It just shows you, so, okay, what is the status quo? And or you can choose to simply automate things and you don't have to worry about it. Trades basically mean more income. Not super exciting most of the time. Military. Okay, again, tabs across the top. Uh, the way the game starts now, you don't have any military or active troops. You do have a small navy that's active by default, but no troops. Um, Legions, Rome are famous for their legions. We can't raise any legions at the start. That will require a law change. But levies, these are based upon your population, your manpower. Well, not sure if it's actually manpower now. Um, uh, okay, I have to play around with that a bit. But anyway, uh, uh, levies are not an army that you appoint a general to. Levies are armies that are led by their governor. So when you get around to appointing governors, um, it's important to look at what their qualities are. You want to have good statesmanship, well, charisma, this finesse will be the term, because that helps with uh, managing the governorship work. But as they are also a potential leader for your troops coming out, and that can be quite a lot of them, Their military quality is also very important. Okay, military. Mercenaries. Okay, mercenaries. Also looking at their different qualities, nice high martial qualities or terrible martial qualities. Very important. They are expensive and they cost a lot. Um and they're also expensive to dissolve. This one, for example, would cost 53 to dissolve. Well, divide by three, that's 16 months that they could have been doing something for you. And it costs 100 to try and get them back again. So, can be quite costly. I've tried to stay away from mercenaries myself in a little bit of gameplay that I've been doing. Diplomacy, again, an overview screen, foreign relations, diplomatic actions. Okay, we're ourselves, look very nice. Click on a different country and you'll get uh, opinions of them towards you and what you think of them and who they're aligned to. I want to see who they're aligned to. Well, then we can move over this. There we have this color change up here. Okay. Technology looks blank. First time I saw this, you have to choose an area of technology that you're interested in. As Rome, we start out with the ability to choose 8 innovations. Um, Military, it looks like, oh, okay, it scrolls over the screen a little bit. This is where you do need to find how you work your middle mouse button. I really wish that I could just do a left click and a right click, but that's not working. So I have 3 areas of martial advances, civic advances, 2 areas, if I recall correctly. Here also 2 areas. You can also zoom in and out with your scroll tools. And with religion, I start out with one top, and it's a very wide tree of different choices. Remember this interface, you can go into planning mode and sort of go through and click on things to see how it could look. Um, it doesn't really change anything yet, but you unclick it and your innovation choice numbers start going down. So don't invest gold anymore. Now you have to get to innovation points. And these are earned over time by whoever you have here in charge of that research. You can scroll over this point and see, for example, how long it's going to be before we have a new point. In this case, July 463. Let's see, come on, tooltip up. Oh, this is one of those hard ones to get to stay here. But anyway, so July 463, um, November 462, August 462, and April 464. So you see your 70%, 95%, and that sort of things. Characters, again, this can be important every now and then. Mainly look at families to see if they're in balance. They have enough offices filled that they're happy, or rather not dissatisfied. And lastly, we have a place to start missions. Mission is a part of the game that can help you decide what to do next. Just come up with some hints and different things. And there's also certain bonuses related to working on the missions. Completely optional. Okay, well, this is the basics of the user interface that I wanted to cover. I should probably touch upon this real quick. This is has as an addition here the total and the monthly change recently. That's the key issue here. And this again is simply how am we doing in the status, 50 being right in the middle, uh, and um the percentage of votes that would fall in our favor, requiring the Senate. So above 50 is good, lower than 50 is going to be troublesome. Okay, um, that is the quick introduction to the user interface, not to the gameplay. We'll start on the gameplay with the next video. Thank you for watching. I hope this helps you